Richard Allen, you child murderer! Why did you do it? Shame on you! Shame on you, Richard!
Richard Allen, the accused Delphi killer, on trial as we speak. As you know, cameras have been banned from that courtroom, but you can't keep Court TV out. Joining us, Court TV's senior producer, Barbara McDonald, who is in Indiana, in that courtroom. So many things happening. Big day today, and a huge moment for the defense and some evidence. Explain it to us, Barbara.
Yeah, this was definitely a mic drop moment today, Vinny. The defense called a former FBI forensic examiner who worked as an instructor for the FBI. She teaches at the college level. She examines computers and phones. And she says that when she examined the cell phone extraction from Libby German's phone that was done by Indiana State Police, she found something in it that they didn't understand. And that information tells her that somebody plugged headphones into Libby German's phone at 5:45 p.m. on the night of the murders and unplugged those headphones at 10:32 p.m. that night. She was asked why somebody might have done that, and she said perhaps to silence the phone. Recall, the family was frantically searching for the girls at that hour, calling Libby's phone. This expert who testified today, Stacey Eldridge, said that just milliseconds before the headphones were plugged in, there was an incoming call. And she says that that is information that Indiana State Police had and did not understand. After she testified, the defense recalled Indiana State Police First Sergeant Christopher Cecil, who did that phone extraction. And he said, yes, he did not understand what that data meant when he did his analysis and wrote his report. But he said during the break before his testimony, he Googled it and discovered that another explanation, rather than headphones, is that either water or dirt got in that phone jack on the phone. But he admitted that was not peer-reviewed information, and it came about as a Google search in the courthouse. And of course, this is all significant information because the state's theory is that Richard Allen left that crime scene by 4 p.m. and did not return. So if somebody is plugging headphones into Libby's phone at 5:45 and unplugging them at 10:32, that could not be Richard Allen. Vinny?
That's incredibly large, incredibly huge. Plugging in and unplugging headphones on the victim's phone 5 hours apart, that's someone that must be in the area very close by, or someone that stayed
or who returned,
or
yes.
stayed there the whole time, or went and then came back. Has there been any testimony from the defense about where Richard Allen was? Because they know all this testimony is coming up. Like the defense knows what their experts are going to say. Have they established for this jury in any meaningful way Richard Allen's whereabouts from 5:45 to 10:32 that night? Like where he was?
No, just that he went home after he walked the trails that day. Now, one of the witnesses who has not testified yet is his wife, Kathy Allen. She could be called. I spoke to her briefly in the courthouse yesterday, and she thought she was going to be called then. So she could very well be called and provide that information. We don't have that information, though, just yet.
Okay, let's talk about the expert who also testified today, talking about the solitary confinement of inmates, which again is another big issue relative to the confessions here.
That's right. This was a very impressive psychiatrist. He Harvard trained. He's also got a law degree. He's got a medical degree from NYU. He lives in the Boston area. He's been practicing since, I think he said, 1977. And his specialty is the psychiatric effects of confinement. And so he talked about solitary confinement and the behaviors that can present from somebody being exposed to solitary confinement. He said that things like psychosis and delirium are very common. He talked about the UN standards, the United Nations standard, that anything above 15 days of solitary confinement is considered torture. He was not allowed to talk about Richard Allen specifically, but one of the jurors in this case are able to ask questions, and one of the jurors asked, could a completely normal person be psychotic after 6 to 12 months of solitary confinement? He said, absolutely, he has seen it. Vinny, we could see the end of the defense case tomorrow.
All right, Barbara McDonald in Indiana. We'll speak tomorrow. When we come back, I will reveal something else you need to know tonight.
Join Court TV's Vinny Politan with the latest and breaking true crime stories.
Now, let's look at the other side of all of that.
Vinny Politan Investigates, coming up next, only on Court TV.
I'm Vinny Politan. Welcome to Closing Arguments.
What's happening here?
It's unreal. Let me show you exactly what happened.
Closing Arguments with Vinny Politan, weeknights at 8, 7 Central, only on Court TV.
Time to reveal something else you need to know tonight. Let's take a look at the big board. And the jury is watching the fatal subway chokehold. We're talking about the trial of Daniel Penny, big case happening up in New York. A good Samaritan jumps into action to subdue a man who was threatening people on the subway. But that man died, and now Daniel Penny is charged with manslaughter. No cameras inside the courtroom, but we do have a piece of the evidence, this video of what happened. Difficult case for the jury. They have to decide, Daniel Penny, is he a hero or is he a felon? All right, folks, before we go, please take a look at your television screens. We have a child who needs your help. This is Hannah Simone Furtick. Hannah, missing since October 23rd out of Charlotte, North Carolina, 16 years old. The photos are of Hannah. She may be in the local area, may go to Gastonia, North Carolina. She has a scar on her abdomen and a gap between her front teeth. She may go by the nickname Simone, and she may be in the need of medical attention. If you see her, please make a call, make the difference. 1-800-THE-LOST, 911, or the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police in North Carolina. Don't go anywhere. Vinny Politan Investigates is next. In the meantime, please don't forget to hug the kids.